What are the top 5 exercises for abs?
I'm Nate, the FitFutureMD. I teach you how to get healthy and how to get rich. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. There's a free health and nutrition guide in the links below. Make sure you pick that up.
You're looking for the top 5 exercises to do for abs. Well, number 1 has to be a plank, right? And this is the basically, if you follow me for many years, the first thing that I tell people to do when they're starting a health and nutrition journey or a weight loss journey is to start with yoga. The yoga I used was DDP yoga, right? And that got me where I could actually get off the couch, right? But he does what's called a 3-second push-up, right? And that's basically a plank, but it's a push-up. And he even does it like on his fingertips and stuff like that, like, which I don't necessarily recommend. But anyway, plank works your entire abdominal region, right? And you can modify it, to your knees to make it easier. There's modification to it, right, depending on where you're starting. And it pretty much works every abdominal muscle there is, and anybody can do it. You don't have to have machines to do it, right? A lot of people progress to the weighted machines on some things, and if you're just starting out, you're just at home, like, a plank is the best exercise for abs, period. It's the one that's going to use the most calories over time. Like, it's the best one. When I first started out in my weight loss journey, right, I would do everything two-handed, two-armed, because of time, right? I was working full-time, working multiple jobs. I was going to school at night. I basically had 30 minutes at lunch to work out and 1 hour after work in between work and when I was going to be sitting in class, right? So, and I would literally eat dinner, like chug dinner, at break of the class, right? And I would eat chicken and rice cold. Like, I was really very, very dedicated at the time. And that's why I dropped to 250, right? At that time. And very disciplined, very motivated. But I did everything two-handed, right? And when you do everything two-handed, you don't get the core involvement as much as if you did things one-handed, right? Where you had to stabilize one side of your body to hold the weight on the other. Right, and that's really that's really a secret in bodybuilding, is the one-armed movements involve your core, and then as a bodybuilder, then you don't have to do ab exercises every day. You're already incorporating it into the movements that you use every day, right? So I recommend doing one-armed exercises, right? And you can see the machines that have that, the hammer machines, they're one-armed exercises. You do them one arm at a time. It involves that core, and over time, that core becomes stronger, right? Because it's stabilizing the weight on the other side of your body. So that's number 2, doing one-armed exercises. Number 3 is a full sit-up, okay? You actually got weight on your feet, so that you can actually do the full sit-up, because core involves like an attachment to the front of your leg, and then it actually attaches to the back of your spine, right? And so many people have low back pain because of this attachment, right? One side is tight, one side is the other. Well, the way to strengthen that is actually a full sit-up, okay? But that's actually considered part of your core. And, basically people that just do crunches or just do leg lifts or whatever, like, you're basically keeping doctors in business giving you pain medication for your back or muscle relaxers for your back because this psoas major muscle is not being worked, and it's very much activated doing a full crunch. Okay, now when you're first starting out, when I was 315 pounds, I really don't think that I don't even know if I could have done a full sit-up, right? So you got to keep that in mind. There's really, the reason I think full sit-ups kind of got out of whack is because, when you're that unhealthy, like when I was 315 pounds, that unhealthy, it was probably something I couldn't have done, right? So, and then they also have machines where you literally can do full sit-ups at angles, right? And I definitely recommend those if you can do those. That's probably the second best exercise for abs behind the plank, right? And the reason I don't put it second is because a lot of people still do a full sit-up, whereas most people, when they're going in because they have a time crunch, and so they do everything two-handed. That's why that one's number 2. So more people don't do that exercise. A full sit-up, not only will it help your core, but it will help your back. Honestly, when you do your fitness test, you're doing a full sit-up, right? You're not doing crunches, you're not doing leg lifts, you're doing a full sit-up, right? So how many sit-ups can you do in 60 seconds? Type deal. That's part of your fitness test, right? So you do it every day, and you can do better in that fitness test, as well as you won't have as much back pain. If your back pain is from the psoas major muscle, it strengthens that muscle. Also, if you're talking about like exercise for sports, the full sit-up is better because you're going to get faster, right? It's going to work that hip flexor, it's going to work that psoas major muscle, and it's going to make you faster on the field. Like, you're going to be able to pull that leg through faster, right? It's also going to help you keep from getting injured in your hips and your back. So let's say it's probably really the second one, but I put it third because still a lot of people use the full sit-up. Your fourth one is oblique crunches, right? Now, the full sit-up doesn't really work your obliques very well. You can do exercises within a plank to hit your obliques, but you want to hit your obliques, pretty decent as well. Like, to get that V taper that everybody desires, you have to have good oblique muscles, right? So the oblique crunch is pretty much the be all know all of that. I say because you want that V taper, that the wide back, the big shoulders, and the V taper gets you that V-shaped look that you want, and the obliques give you that V taper that you want. And then the last one is leg raises, and specifically I do hanging leg raises, and weighted leg raises. They also have like where somebody pushes your legs down, but that's only if you have a partner, right? So I say I pretty much work out alone 90% of the time. On Saturday and Sundays, Meredith works out with me, but for the most part, I'm pretty much working out alone. And I try to hit abs on Wednesday and Sunday. So like I say, twice a week, basically. And where is the when you're losing weight, what is everybody afraid of? They're afraid of loose skin, right? Like, you're like, I would rather be fat than to be sitting there with saggy skin. And that's no offense to everybody that's lost weight and has saggy skin, but it's just the reality. Like, I'm just telling the truth. Like, I would rather just be fat if I'm gonna have saggy skin, right? And when you're losing 200, 300 pounds, then you're gonna have saggy skin. But the leg raise targets that lower abdominal region, and you target that lower abdominal region, you know, hopefully the idea is that your skin there will be tighter, and therefore you won't have as big of a saggy skin area. And I think you know, a lot of people will do the plank, do the crunch. They won't do the full sit-up, and they won't do leg raises because they're more difficult, and you know, that will cause a difference at the end of saggy skin at the bottom of your abdominal region. You know, even at 300 and well, really even at 302 pounds, you know, I still had visible abdominal lines, right? You know, it wasn't that they were fat rolls. It's literally visible abdominal lines, and that's because this is what I do for abs, right? You know, my ab routine basically consists of, you know, full sit-ups, planks, leg raises, and you know, I also do weighted crunches probably once a month, you know, just to, you know, do a little something different. But that would be number 6, right? Is weighted crunches. This is a top 5 video, but I'll add, you know, number 6 in there. That's weighted crunches, right? But it's really something you could live without, you know, if you had to. But weighted crunches, you know, especially if you're in a surplus, you want to, you know, take advantage of that surplus calories by adding weight to your exercises. So that's my top 5 ab exercises. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm Nate, the FitFutureMD. I teach you to get healthy and rich. Make sure you get that free nutrition plan in the links below, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.